Welcome travelers from the winding trails, grab a spot by the hearth and a pint of ale. A brief respite from our noble quest, lean back in a chair for the Song of Rest. Hello travelers and welcome to the Song of Rest, a place where our heroes and the deities that guide them gather to share a behind-the-scenes and behind-the-screens look at the unfolding adventures in Archipeldia. Gathered before us is our dungeon master, Aaron Rollins, and his band of players, Janelle Wilke, Chad Stafford, and Ben Holland. But I'll let them do the talking, and I'll get back to playing.
Trauma!
So, fuck.
Woo!
Youch!
Whoa.
Yeah.
Started off right before we were recording. I was mentioning that I got this new little stress ball and it looks like a gelatinous cube, which I find very humorous, but I'm honestly shocked that it didn't explode because I was gripping this thing so hard throughout most of this episode.
I just got a new stress ball. It's a giant D20, and there's a small point in the center of my palm.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is we're stressed, we have anxiety, and we're nerds. Got it.
Yeah.
The trifecta.
Joe left his chainmail hacky sack in here, so I've been trying to resist playing with it, but there it is.
I have to hide that thing so well that I literally forget where it is. I don't know. I genuinely don't know where it is right now because it will make so much
Mine's
noise.
behind my speaker, because if I can't see it, I won't reach for it on accident.
I have this little area of my office where I take out the rings, I put everything that I could possibly fidget with to make noise, because, Chad will bite my head off and it just stays over there.
I've never done this.
As you deserve, Aaron.
Yeah.
God
I
damn
just
it.
cry. It's worse. I just get sad.
Oh.
Yeah.
Speaking of getting sad,
Well, that was a whole hell of a thing.
Yeah, I don't even know where to start. This is absolutely wild. How is Timothy feeling seeing Tierman?
Yeah.
very excited that a character that we've been dropping hints about for so long is actually in the show now, but also terrified with the fact that this poor man has probably been forced to like carry this stone, maybe like he's tied to it somehow and he's being tormented.
How long at this point has it been since Timothy has seen him?
Oh gosh, I mean, Aaron probably has a better answer to that than I do.
Oh man, I would say I'd estimate that it's been at least like a year and a half since Timothy has seen Tierman.
Okay.
I was gonna say year or years plural.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
You have to think that like the adventure with the start of the campaign, it wasn't that long ago. I mean, you guys have been adventuring with each other for like between a month or 2 months at this point, I think. But Timothy has been traveling for a fair amount of time with Chairman's loot and has been held up in his travels a lot. I mean, Timothy's luck has been absolute shit, so he has been unable to get back to Tierman, and then all this happened. So it's been a while. I
gotta say that this episode has like one of my favorite Timothy swears. That was awesome. The fuck you, Aster.
Aster.
And you know what? You use them so sparingly that they actually do always like pack a punch when you use them. Normally they are comedic punch, like during our holiday episode when you are like, excuse me.
It's the only time Timothy swears.
Flowerkraut.
Timothy gets one F-bomb every Christmas. It's his present.
Yes. Yep. But yes, you used it so well. Like, yeah, this was a great moment.
Yeah, that's the right way to use the F-bomb. That's perfect.
Yes.
It had a lot of weight with it.
Well, everybody gets to share some of their trauma. We get to have a little bit of backstory from Thrigg over here.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's fun. Do you know what I thought you might have been setting that up for, Aaron?
What's that?
Because you made a point of like saying that I was shorter than him and everything like that. I was wondering if you were setting that up to be the first time I raged and got big.
I feel like that could have been part of it. What what ended up happening with that is you ended up rolling like a beast. There, I feel like was supposed to be more of a struggle, but Thrigg's true, like, I guess, repressed feelings just came to the surface immediately and you had no problem pushing him back.
Yeah, it's the dex checks that are dangerous, but I rolled really well on them because it's only a +2 for those. But athletics and strength is a +7.
Mm-hmm. I mean, he had
that's
an insane bonus as well, but you were still beating him. So,
that's fun.
I like the idea of Thrigg not raging because what he's really using is like righteous fury more than he is rage.
Fuck you, Dad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the second dad said something to me and then he like cut away, I opened a notepad on my phone and I started typing furiously. I was like, he's gonna give me time.
Oh, I have a note in my document that says, "Holy shit, Thrigg," because throughout this episode, it's just been like this incredible showcase of what Thrigg is all about. Even just starting from that moment when he just like, you know, kind of shrugs off having to give away a little piece of himself to the tree in order to help people. It's like, yeah, you give a little bit of yourself to help others. Like it's just that simple to Thrigg. But then following that up later with the speech to his father is so incredible. I just love seeing what Thrigg is all about.
We got the setup and the payoff.
Yeah, that's fun that was both in the same episode. Because when I told Aaron when I was making Thrigg for the podcast, like that, this is the very essence of the character that I wanted to make. I wanted to make this big, rageful, barbarian dude, but he wasn't raging because he was angry. Right. It's different than that. It's raging because he doesn't like when good is being oppressed. And yeah, that's the nature of him. It's like, if he can help, and yeah, it's a strain on him, but he's gonna, like, the payoff is the goodness at the end of it. That's what he's gonna do. So that was really fun to kind of, like Chad just said, like have, kind of put the setup out there and then see where it came from, because actually you're seeing a point in the back of, at the previously in time, right? So it's in reverse. The setup really was the argument with his dad, and then the payoff is really him pricking his hand on the tree, right? It's everything he did after that with his dad.
Yeah.
Because it's actually backwards in the timeline, which is really a trip. It's almost like Aaron's been watching a lot of Back to the Future movies again.
Yeah, Thrigg does not value like senseless violence and oppression, and he gives so freely in return, like himself, to help like those that can't help themselves and protect good, and that's really cool.
And we also got to see that with Flower Crowd too, right? Because it was like, it would just be so easy. It would just be so easy to do the other thing and just give into this. It would be so easy.
Yeah, the power is literally at your fingertips.
You could have it if you want to.
We can make a deal.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of felt like the first Harry Potter, where he sees the philosopher's or sorcerer's stone in his hand in the mirror, and the trick with the mirror is like the only way you can actually obtain it is if you do not wish to use it.
Yeah, and I thought we were going to get away without, like, I thought Timothy's trauma was going to be that he was going to be alone again, right? That's really what I thought it was, and that was scaring him. Then we walk in the room and it's Tyrion, and it's like, oh, there it is.
Yeah.
There it is. His trauma gets to be until next time we record.
I genuinely thought Aaron was being super sneaky, like he doesn't think he's stuck in one of these little nightmare scenarios, but it actually is. And
Everyone's
it is just
gone.
like everyone's, because I felt like Nathaniel's going one way, Remington's going the other. And I'm like, oh, he is in one. He just doesn't know it. So that's when I was like, yeah, what would he do? He would just try to shatter the illusion.
A little bit of meta behind that trap. I thought that was really interesting that Flower Crowd cast Protection from Good and Evil on Remington, because there was a whole thing with Remington going into trauma mode as well.
Sweet.
Did you write something for him?
I sure did.
I was like, can you share?
So the thing is, because Remington is not a player character, a lot of his trauma would have been off screen. But like everyone else, he would have disappeared into the maze of the mountain, and you would have had to have found him and snapped him out of it as well. But it didn't happen to him because of that spell. And then there's Nathaniel, who's dead, and the magic just doesn't work on him. And then Timothy, who's got a heart of a Kenku, and so of course Aster's spells have never worked on him. So I thought it was really interesting where we got the three of you guys able to go try to find Thrigg and Flowercrow. Essentially, you just disappeared into the mountain and were having these visions. And there's a lot of things you guys could have done to snap them out. But one of the, I mentioned with Remington that one of the things is that, especially with Thrigg, if you were to get too close to him or to touch him to try and shake him out of it, he would have fucking attacked you. He would just straight out swung at you. And since that was a little bit off camera, that did happen with Remington, but he was just like dodging your attacks as you're struggling with your dad. And then finally you kind of overcame the whole thing yourself, and Remington's kind of tugging on your leg. So because again, you're rolling like a beast. With Flowercrow, you rolled fairly well. I felt like it was kind of that middle ground, because it very easily could have been that if you had rolled low, you would have started to transform. Like you would have started to take on more characteristics of a hag.
Yeah, what was the DC for that first wisdom save?
It was 14.
Okay, so I rolled right on it in that case.
Okay, wow.
Yeah. And then the second one went up from there, and you, I think, would you get like a 19 or something like that?
I got 18.
Yeah, 18. That was the difficulty.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so you both rolled perfect to avoid bad shit from happening in your trauma scenarios, which is great because you guys have already had to kind of sacrifice quite a bit to get where you're at. Like everyone's down 2 hit points from using the mirrored tree.
Oh my.
This would have had additional lasting effects if that had happened to you. Because the idea is that Aster's spell was supposed to basically trap you in your own nightmare. And you would, had you not also had anyone to help you out of it, that would have prolonged the whole scenario. So
Thrigg could have been trapped and swinging at the rocks forever until he died of exhaustion.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. Wow. That's horrifying.
That's Aster's abilities.
Well, say it with me. Fuck you, Aster.
Aaron, you were telling us, and I don't know if this gets cut from the episode, but you said that you came up with the riddle, at least the first one, and then you kind of did like a modified version for the second one.
Yeah, the first one, so the way I came up with these, and similar to the ones that you guys first did with Minerva, is that I wanted to create riddles that the answer was things that you needed.
Yeah.
From the tree. So like the first one was shadow and mirror, or shadow and reflection.
Yes.
And those were basically the ways that you were going to hide yourselves from the Jabberwock. By the way, I'm sorry to disappoint you guys that the second encounter with the mirror tree didn't result in you turning into animals and running through.
Only Thrigg is upset.
Oh man,
Poor Thrigg.
We'll get to it. Yeah, but man, I like Ben was like, yes, like I'm gonna be a bear. Like I was so excited for it. But this was better. I'll pause there and say this was better.
And so the words I wanted to get was direction and map. And so I was like, I couldn't find anything. I mean, because I kind of like sometimes will look up to see if there's any clever puzzles that. And so I put that first one together and I threw it at Laura to see what she thought. It went through a couple different evolutions, a couple updates, but I really liked where we got with it. I still think you guys were just rock solid on the answer. Just boom, you guys figured it out fast, you know. And Janelle on the maps one, holy crap, it was just like boom, you knew what it was.
Yeah,
that never happens, by the way. That's a rare treat for me to solve a riddle.
I read through that 3 times and I was just like, I am nowhere close on this one. I was like, I am completely lost. And she goes, map. And I went, oh yeah. But I don't know if I would have gotten there. I really don't. I
try to visualize things as you say them, Aaron, because I don't know, just auditory learning is the hardest part for me. So I've said it before, I'll say it again. You do such a good job with theater of the mind that it definitely just bypasses that difficulty for me. I'm always visualizing everything you're saying. So with riddles, it's like very hard for me to visualize because the words themselves are kind of tricky and they're not supposed to create a very literal image. But in the map one's case, it's like I was visualizing oceans and I was visualizing coasts, and then towns without towns without people and everything like that, mountains without land. And I was just like picturing these things as like flat visuals in my head. And I'm like, oh, well, you don't have the water or the sand or the people on a map, but you do have like representations of oceans and coasts and towns and mountains. So that is probably why it worked, whereas other riddles just do not click for me.
So I'm actually looking at it again right now, and it's written so well. The first one, the triggers were for me was like, without me you were lost. Some say that I'm one of the four. I was like, oh yeah, cardinal directions on a like. I actually was like compass or something like that. I was like, oh no, it's easier than that. It's the way to go. That's really what it is. And that one's super, super clever too. I love both of those.
Compass isn't a bad one for that either. To be
Compass
honest,
is a good one.
Leader could need a moral compass. It doesn't have to be super literal.
Well, that's why I said both guidance and direction.
It was Laura's idea to focus to split it up a little bit and be like, when you talk about direction, one of them is like the cardinal directions. But that the other is giving direction to people or having like when you give instruction or direction or guidance, that being the other definition of direction, so.
Right.
And they tie in so well together because cardinal directions would be on the map.
Yeah.
Right. So you need both of those things together. So yeah, you needed that it was basically the same riddle twice. Which is pretty cool.
Using the second line, I love the second line because it's so clever once you kind of have the hint and you're testing it against each line of the riddle. So you could give me to others. Now you both have me just the same, the directions. So it's like that. Yeah, it's just like that really locks it in. You're like, yeah, okay, that does work. Because when Ben first brought up direction, I'm like, okay, well, now I got to just make sure it is the answer to every line of the riddle. And it is. It's so cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Also, we put it in the Discord, and we would like to say our very own Dustin Sherman Jeopard, about an hour and a half later, got the answers as well.
Yeah, he sure did.
He sure did.
Dustin's excellent at riddles.
I think that's even a mention at the when we did this the first time. Like, oh, I wish Sherman was here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which that was really the visual imagery of the sword being in one spot and this like pile of feathers in the other. I was just like, okay, I'm feeling.
Yeah, and that was also kind of representative of for flower kraut. Basically, all you have to do is take it from them, like the sword, and then like the feathers being basically your friend's dead. Take their motes, so they're kind of like lying at your feet rather than like the image of their bodies just laying there. It's just like the images that represent them.
Yeah.
I mean, not to get super dark with it, but you could, equivalate that to that's how hags see things. They're not seeing the people that they're hurting. They're just seeing them as things.
Yeah.
Means to an end.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're just components almost.
Spell components, if you will.
Gross.
I also wanted you guys to kind of get more of an experience with the mirror tree as being this entity that is mobile within the Feywild, and that there's a little bit of mystery as to what it really is, and that I loved Timothy's hesitation. That is so huge. Just the whole like, guys, we can't keep doing this. Like. The more, and then the flower kraut kind of added on to that they become shackles after a while. Your guys' narrative on that whole blood promise thing, I loved, because it's true. You guys are trading something for help, for a benefit.
Was there a world where we had come up with the right combination of things to have just not needed the tree at all.
Yes, there very well could be, because one of the things that Minerva does when she showed up was gave you a choice.
Right, for
You
sure.
can choose to approach the tree, or you can carry on your way. It's kind of like, do you want the straight and narrow path, or do you want to zigzag and find this on your own? There's things you guys probably could have done, things you guys have at your disposal, maybe even things that Remington could have done, or that Nathaniel could do. There's things that Nathaniel might be able to do. You guys have no idea.
Nathaniel was too busy looking at himself in the mirror. We're all
He
aware
was having
of
his
this.
hot boy summer.
We all know what was happening.
His hot skeleton summer, that
he
is.
was having his hot boy summer.
Skeleton hot boy summer.
I haven't quite popped that in a while. And those pecs are flexing.
I better not forget about leg day.
Maggot day.
Maggot day.
So I feel at the beginning when we got to the mountains, like we kind of floundered for a bit of like trying to find a solution, and like kind of we're a little aimless, which is fun. I do like that. When you were kind of writing this up, like looking at like what were you thinking that we might do before we got to the tree? Was this any like disguising as you know, as one of the hags?
Coming.
Okay.
Nope. Didn't see that one coming. You guys tend to come up with some really clever things that I never even thought of. Like, I can't say that there was anything I was expecting you to do. Most of it's for part of the fun for me as the DM is to wait for you guys to come up with creative solutions. Case in point, climbing up the Fey tree and then Flowerkraut running across the canopy while having the mage hand down and you guys following and
our crazy taxi moment.
Yeah, like that was such a cool way to find the mirror tree. The freaking Laminaria and the Kraken and the Fracken thing.
That's my favorite. That is my favorite thing we've like when goofy antics actually get rewarded. That was my favorite moment.
Oh my God. I just realized something. Aaron, does inspiration carry over from game to game? I still have the inspiration from the crazy taxi moment.
Yes, it does
that
carry
I have
over.
not used. Oh my God.
Hey, it's time to use that crazy inspiration. Are you
All
ready?
right,
Here we
I
go.
am writing a note for myself to use my stinking inspiration.
Freaking Red Hot Chili Peppers start playing in the background.
No, Chad, I'm a little disappointed because you said that was our crazy taxi moment. I went, yeah.
Yeah. You
There it is.
Oh yeah,
There's
you're
like
coming
two
up
songs in that game.
with the Blood Moon Blitz on the fly. Wait, you're adding in the music for your Thriller song, right?
Yeah, because Aaron threw me off so hard with the Winnie the Pooh bit. You did that to me last time where like you said something that was so funny. Like because I always have to amp myself up to do those bits. And then I get thrown off so hard by something so funny. I was like, fuck, I can't, man. I'm too hung up on Winnie the Pooh now.
That's so great.
Winnie the Werepoo.
So yeah, so everyone will have heard the Thriller song then.
Well, now we need
That's
now,
cool.
Ben and I are absolutely going to make Blood Moon Blitz a thing.
I'm
That's
so
happening.
excited.
The guitar part for that song anyway is phenomenal. So just to have an excuse to play that is good.
Oh, I'm excited for that.
Fan art moment.
Yes. There were like so many excellent moments in this one, like that packed a wall up.
I think so I'll take a little bit of liberty and say I have more than one. I think all three of our trauma moments are good. Like
A cross section.
Yeah, like her looking in the mirror with the darkness behind her, Thrigg locked in with his dad, Timothy looking to Tierman was in a bed, right? Isn't that what you said? So
He's like on a stone altar.
yeah, it was stone altar. That was it. Yeah, laying down, like all three of like everyone kind of seeing it at one shot. Like that's just someone draw a trauma portrait, please.
Yeah, it does make me think of the last time our group was all split up into 3 different parts. It was very reminiscent of like Arc 2 and Glavio, where like this, I think it was called The Sands of Separation was that episode. and I did the art where it was kind of like fractured with a lightning bolt. This could be with like the strings of a dream catcher or something, and we're each kind of like in a panel or something.
Shut up and start drawing that right now, Janelle.
I'm going to write this in my notes so I actually remember what we say during this dang thing.
I would also take Thrig holding everyone in a hug.
Oh, it was good.
Yeah, because the subtext there is like he just argued with his dad, but then he came back and hugged his family.
Oh, yeah.
That's a little bit, yeah.
Don't be cute. I'm not crying.
Don't ask. And just walks away.
Don't ask me, Thrig. There wasn't salmon.
I am having I think my fan art moment is crouching Remington and Timothy, and Timothy's got like a big walkie-talkie. And Remington's just staring at him. He's staring at him really like, funny. What the hell are you doing?
Soggy Rider, this is Feather Duster, over.
We went over it so quick because it started the trauma moments, but I do want to recognize that Bearpocalypse was really damn funny.
That was really good.
Yeah.
That was so good.
Everyone was so like in the moment, we didn't get to laugh, but that's really good.
Yeah.
Remington's was hair then gone.
Oh, damn it.
What?
I mean, that's where the race name comes from.
My stupid brain. This is what my dumbass brain thought of, and I'm like, no. Timothy needs to come up with it. He's so good at coming up with names. My brain thought of Rankle Sprankle, and I'm like, no.
Rankle Sprankle.
Well, excuse me, ma'am. You just stepped on me, little Rankle Sprankle.
Oh my god! I'm just like, brain,
name I've
can you
ever
not be
heard.
an idiot for like 1 second,
No.
please?
No, please don't.
Somewhere, somehow, we're gonna
Rankle
like
Sprankle
manifest
is gonna be a halfling or a gnome name
yeah, a little
somewhere.
halfling gnome or like a pixie named Rankle Sprankle.
Rankle Sprankle.
Welcome to my shop. Explore my wares
I'm writing that down right now.
at Rankle Sprankle's Emporium and
God.
things.
Random names.
Amazing.
Rankle Sprankle.
Rankle Sprankle.
No, that's my cousin, Fankle Dankle.
Let's see. What about you, Chad? Fan art moment.
Fan art moment. There's
I know. I'm really just diverting the attention to you to give myself more time to think.
I don't appreciate that shit. No, honestly, because now that you said the dream catcher, my brain can literally not think of anything else because that's such a cool visual imagery.
It's a really cool visual.
Yeah, it's such a cool idea.
I also just really like the idea of like them standing upon this like really strange looking mountain peak of all of these like, you know, the peaks and the valleys and all these crevices and stuff, and maybe seeing the hint of like these creatures that are just crawling. And it's just like this vast ocean of, you know, rock and just like the not knowing where to go next. I think like because it's really like that's the calm before the turmoil storm, the, you know, that was their eye of the storm before they all had their trauma bonding. So I think, you know, that quiet moment would be really cool to see, but also again, the dream catcher and all of the different facets of what each character was dealing with is really cool.
Yeah. With Ben, you were asking about like, you know, the searchings just seems kind of like all over the place. That I wanted it to feel like it was a task to find out where she went, because
yeah, for sure.
The visuals on the Pumice Mountains is really, I mean, just think about that. Take a bunch of pumice stone and just set them up. You know, it's a wasteland. It's dead. You know, there's not much there, and it's just like with all of these potential openings, where did she go? You know, and so and there's no way to track her because it's been too long and the dirt's and the ground's too hard. So it was kind of like, you know, you got to really think of something creative to track her down or to pinpoint where she went.
Hey, Janelle, I don't know. Can warlocks get locate object? Because I feel like at some point one of us needs to figure out how to get that.
Ooh, that might be a good one to do. Yeah, I can look into that. That would be pretty sweet.
Yeah. Detect magic might also be a good one at this point.
Oh yeah, detect magic is clutch.
I was so certain Aaron was gonna do a play on the Enigma of Amigara Fault, which is a Junji Ito like short comic, which if you haven't seen it, you should definitely look it up. It's definitely like one of the less like scary or graphic of his work.
I would still say trigger warning for sure.
Yeah, but it's still incredibly haunting, and yeah, it's very scary in its own way. So yeah, be careful if you don't like very like scary stories. But
Junji Ito anything has a trigger warning on it. So if you look at that one and think, oh, this is not for me, then none of them are.
None of it would be. No, absolutely not.
But yeah, it's very haunting.
It was less of a physical manifestation and of the mind for what the characters actually went through.
That's true. Yeah. Oh, I mean, that could kind of be like almost a fan art moment. It's just like them seeing their own personal hole into the Pumice like mountains.
Mm-hmm. We were making a joke earlier that a flower kraut needs to fall off this mountain because it would just be like a pumice stone and she'll come out super smooth by the end of it. All the wrinkles completely gone.
The rankles have been
just
smoothed.
scraping against the mountain.
The rankles, all the rankles and all the sprankles gone.
All the rankles and all the sprankles. So Aaron, that actually, I just thought of this because you were talking about like it being a task to get where we were going. If she hadn't transformed into the hag, would those creatures have given us shit? Like, would that have been a problem for us to get through?
Potentially.
Awesome.
I have like, so I try to prepare for that kind of stuff. So there was a creature card ready to go for any time that you guys might have engaged with them. They would have fought back, you know, depending on the situation. So they weren't just there as a background image, you know, that.
So let's say when she went up and talked to them, you know, as the hag, if she had done that as flower kraut, would that have been like, was it same reaction or?
Don't know.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. I love like hearing that we potentially avoided combat because we did something creative. I love that kind of stuff.
You know, I feel like that's a good thing for all DM/GMs to have in their back pocket. If there is an opportunity for something to get into a fight, just have a stat block ready.
Mm-hmm.
More often than not, your players are probably going to want to fight the thing. So just have the stat block ready to go.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Well, it's funny because I often think that we're the kind of the group that looks for the way around the fight.
We are, and from my experience,
so
that's more rare. Yeah, that is definitely more rare. You know, because I have been in groups where it's just like, you know, even if you are the sole voice of like, I don't want to say reason, but like passive, you know, trying to find the passive way forward, and everyone's else like it must be murdered for us to go forward. You know, that is the quickest, easiest solution. So I also like that as our group dynamic, as I feel like we do tend to find like the path of least violence.
I also don't know if you can tell us this, Aaron, since we're not through the area yet. But there was that point where I rolled the nat 1 when I was trying to observe what the bug was up to, and I couldn't tell what it was doing. Are you able to tell us what it was doing, or is that a secret until we find out, if we find out at all?
Aaron, may I answer for you?
Sure.
Okay, so that bug was writing a really juicy letter.
God damn it.
Oh shit, the fucking letter.
Then saw flower kraut and was like, oh no, and like ripped it up really quick.
A love letter to flower kraut.
Oh
my gosh. I love that you're like Timothy just, you know, oh, I see that the PS part for Nathaniel is twice as long as the part for Remington.
This is one of my favorite things about this group is that like we just bring the lore into it and we just go with it. Like,
yes,
like that's one of my favorite things is like, I didn't say that I did that, but Chad says he's seeing me do it. So I am doing it. I am definitely doing it. And Flowerkraut's really fucking embarrassed about it. Like, you've never seen her blush before. And now she's like, oh my God.
It's not like Janelle or Flowerkraut have ever put Timothy/Chad through the ringer on roll a dexterity saving throw or else you fall on your face in the holiday episode.
Disadvantage. Eggs are all over you now, idiot. No.
Flowerkraut, what is XOXO? It's just you just keep on putting X's and O's in there.
And then Nathaniel comes and he's like trying to look a clue.
Let me catch this paper.
Freaking Fred from Scooby-Doo over here like, hey gang, I found a clue.
Yes.
We always find some way to put plenty of humor in there.
Oh my gosh, Nathaniel getting distracted by his own hotness. And then the maggot thing too was just so freaking funny. And Thrag just like making fun of Nathaniel by throwing maggots on him.
Pocket maggot.
Pocket maggot, yeah.
You saw,
I flick a maggot at him.
You saw that Nathaniel was getting too full of himself, so you threw maggots at him to keep him humble.
Thrag knows.
Thrag rubs dirt on his wounds to give himself hit points back.
Oh, and you know what? I would call it. Did no one hear did my joke just not land? I wanted to know because it's
what one?
Yeah, because he got into a fight and he said Thrig's calves are shredded, and I said and they're also kind of cut up.
Yeah, no,
I was like,
that
damn,
was
that's
that
good.
was pretty good.
That was good.
I laughed.
Okay, good.
I missed it.
Yeah. I was so excited about that joke.
That was funny where we were just pointing out that the red caps were only able to hit you in the legs. So it was, all of the damage was down around your knees.
Despite their Mario-esque jumping abilities.
I think I was just talking over you, and that's probably why I missed it. So sorry.
It's okay. I opened up D&D Beyond. I hadn't looked at it today and I guess I must not have looked at it last week when we were about to record. But I opened it up and it says I had 15 hit points out of 59. I was like, oh shit, that's right. I almost died.
He almost died.
And then Aaron stole 2 of those hit points from me forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're mine now.
Yeah,
Or
they're yours.
until some unknown condition is met.
It's sending Aaron $50.
Oh, shit. Aaron would like you to make him a sandwich every day this week.
Yep. I did. I'm down to permanently 57. I went and made the setting.
Yeah, on your hit points, you can just go to your HP modifier, and Aaron found this out. Just put a little -2 in there, and it's done. It's real easy.
That's what I did too.
Barely an inconvenience.
Yeah, I went to manage HP and hit set fixed rate at 57.
I wanted that to feel a little bit more impactful on you guys because the first time you guys made a promise with the mirror tree, it didn't feel like you really had to give up much in order to go in and, do the animal quest and then get your masks and everything. But I wanted it to feel a little bit more like exponentially detrimental to you to get more help from the tree,
I really
interesting
like
because it.
I was just starting to think that the tree, it's such an inky, I can't open up this freaking jar of pickles, and the tree just showed up well, let's make a deal. She gets really desperate. She's just I think I can open up the jar of pickles, Minerva. There's something in this tool drawer that I can probably. Can you? And she starts flying up. The pickles, they are briny and green. Some might say quite obscene.
I have this little piece of plastic that has a lot of friction and you might be able to use it, but I need your blood first.
Oh my God.
No. And Thrig's already doing it. Damn it, Thrig, no.
I already pricked my finger, Thrag. It's funny because Chad, your joke about this is actually kind of what I was going to talk about, which is the first time we did this, it's we got to do this and we're trusting of it because everyone else in the cavalcade did it. It's fine. So you're just sure, yeah, we'll do this. It's basically our only option. And then now it is more of a decision. It is up to us if we want to take this, if we want to take them up or take Minerva up on this. And it's like, oh, do we want to make our lives a bit easier and give up something in return? So it's like there is more of or I guess there's less trust now. It's like, oh, this conveniently showed up when we are needing help. Like, is there some kind of motive going on that we should be concerned about? Because this convenient tree has now shown up twice when we need it. Yeah, and it seems like
Aaron kind of said like,
oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, you good.
No. Aaron, you go.
No. Aaron.
Everyone be quiet.
God.
Let Aaron talk.
So my question is, I didn't have one. Go ahead.
I forgot my question. I'm sorry.
We're such dicks.
And that would shut the whole thing down.
Yep.
What were you going to say, Chad?
I don't even remember what we were talking about.
I don't either.
Okay.
Well, it is like Remington said, though. It's everything in the Feywild is transactional. And most of the Feywild is morally gray. Most of the Feywild is like there are prey and there's predators, and you make deals. That is all. It's all the Feywild is just how much are you willing to give for how much you are hoping to get.
Okay, that did make me remember actually. It seems like almost to the point of the pickle jar example that you gave. It's like, how much are you willing to give for now the simplest of tasks? Like it's like if you learn to rely on it too much, it'll keep taking and taking from you.
Thrig's in the outhouse and there's no toilet paper, and Minerva's tree just like appears in the outhouse.
I see you lack what you need.
Trig out of toilet paper. Do you have toilet paper? Maybe. Prick your finger first, Trig.
You use me before you stand. You do not want to use your hand. What am I?
It's amazing. I guess I was thinking of the same thing as like, I won't use my hand.
It's a urinal. A urinal?
Yeah, if she shows up again, that's going to be like, well, now it gets concerning, right? Because it's like, I feel like the first one was free. I mean, it was like a hit point the first time, and it was...
Oh yeah, free sample.
Yeah, I think it was just a hit point. The second time, I'm taking 2, but I'm taking him forever until certain conditions met. And like the next time is like...
Now your wallet. Give me your wallet.
Yeah, the next time is like, oh, pull something out of your bag that's important to you. You're never getting that back. Or
Thrig. Oh, he's like, if you can do it, and you just hand her the bag of holding.
Oh shit!
Give it a shot. Struggling up at the top of the tree.
Wait, hold on.
Who gave you this bag?
You are not getting a downwards thumbs up this time.
Well, let me tell you about a little piece of shit called Tuffet.
Oh, I love Timothy's just shifting opinion of everyone. Like, even Nathaniel this episode, Timothy's just like, well, look at Mr. Fancy Pants over here.
I couldn't help but think it was funny that he like went zombie Gaston on us, and he was just being like a super, hot man who's too full of himself. Like, that's just really funny to play off of.
Well, yeah, I think it was something Ben said, like, I don't know, something like about a caked up skeleton or something. I don't know. It's
yeah,
just,
I made a joke along those lines. Yeah,
I don't know. I can't remember. Yeah, oh my gosh, it's so funny.
Like every brain he ate was another ab.
Yes, I did say that as well.
Oh my gosh. That's a fan art moment that everyone really needs.
I do love that I walked up to Minerva and was like, can we talk about the thumbs up?
Yes, I like that.
Yeah. My boy's been thinking about it. He can't sleep.
I really feel like things have took a turn ever since that moment. Like, just that was really funny.
And really, Timothy's been like upset about like the Jabberwock potentially tracking us, and then Tuffet just like basically finding out that Tuffet gave you a piece of junk.
Ring goes on, ring goes off.
Ring goes on, ring goes off, ring goes on, ring goes off. It just hasn't been sleeping, and then Thrig just thinks it's all because of the thumbs up, thumbs down situation.
Thumbs goes up, thumbs goes down, thumbs go up,
Still
thumbs go
think
down.
it's so funny that you made a like Hero Forge with the ring.
Hero Forge. I was gonna say the same thing.
Oh my god!
I was gonna say the same thing.
I'm looking at it right now, and there is the tiniest bit of rage that
just about
grows
to-
within me.
Yeah.
So, I am curious about your guys' outlook on the future and the following episode, maybe the next few episodes. Now that you have found Tyrmand and he has the Maiden of the Moon, what do you think that means for you guys?
Flowercrowd is not optimistic about Tyrmand's fate.
Crowd, what the hell?
So I don't think Thurg knows who. I don't think Thurg knows who that is at all. I don't think we've ever really had that discussion.
Mm-hmm.
I was told about the hags and some stuff, but I don't think Thurg has any clue of who that is lying on the altar.
Yeah, Flowercrow is very, very worried.
I think my question is this Tyrmand? Is this Tyrmand? Question mark.
Yeah, that's true. The hags do know about like how Timothy has a connection to him.
Aaron's just writing anything we say down right now. I just want to let you guys know this is a ploy, this is a plot, and we're falling for it.
I'm legitimately curious as to what your thoughts are on just the initial finding of him, and he's got the Maiden of the Moon. So, but hey, we will, because really, you think about it. This is, what happens next is up to you guys.
Does returning the Moonstone even do anything? Or is the corruption to the point where it's like, yeah, it might heal future problems, but still there is the present problem. And that was birthed from corruption and something being stolen from it. And maybe something returning isn't going to satiate that anger.
Yep. I mean, like, could happen? It could be that the world Lion King's on you and suddenly everything's back in hunky-dory the second you put it back in place. Who knows? And maybe Tyrmand knows a little bit about the Maiden of the Moon since he's currently holding on to it.
What do you want me to do? Dress and drag and do the hula?
Maybe Tyrmand is just a transfigured goblin that's actually named Rankle Sprankle.
Oh, hold on. Let me write that down right now.
It was me the whole time.
You've fallen for my ploy.
This is our version of freaking Rumpelstiltskin. You have to get him to say Rankle Sprankle. It's a whole deal.
You'll never discover my name.
Sometimes it's in reverse. Sometimes it's 3 times.
It's Rankle Sprinkle. God damn it. You figured it out.
I would really love for someone whoever ends up listening to this, like, I want that to be the thing someone says to us at a booth someday. And they'd be like, greetings, I am Rankle Sprankle.
Or, by the way, guys, the last D&D campaign I was in, my character's name was Rankle Sprankle, all because of you.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Or it's like, hey, Feather Duster, this is Rankle Sprankle calling in. Over.
Rankle Sprankle.
Okay, I'll say it. If someone comes to the booth, the next con we're at, and says "fuck you, Aster" to one of us, I'll give you free shit.
Yep.
Or Rankle Sprankle.
Yeah,
We got buttons. We got stickers.
50% off with code word Rankle Sprinkle.
If you say tough it, you have to give me something.
And he's gonna hit you
No,
lightly, but he's gonna hit you.
I'll hit you with my mind.
With a really bad stare.
Psychic punch. Yeah.
A little side eye.
With a really bad stare. With the sidest of side eyes.
One more thing I wanted to share with our listeners is I recently did a podcast called Chekhov's Whatever, which is kind of a fun game podcast where you essentially watch a movie, or you and the host watch a movie, and you try to guess what the Chekhov's gun is in the movie. So essentially, Chekhov's gun is like, you do not put a loaded gun into the frame of, in your play or in your movie in this case, without essentially having it go off later on. So it's like every, major plot point has a follow through. So it's a game where you essentially try to discover what the Chekhov's guns are in movies. And it's very fun for any movie nerds like myself. I know we have some other movie nerds here too. So yeah, please give Chekhov's whatever a check out.
Awesome.
Thank you so much for having me on, Meg.
What platforms?
Let's see. The one I listen to is YouTube. If you go onto Instagram, you can find like all the different platforms that she posts it on too.
Awesome.
Alrighty. Well, thanks again, everyone, for listening, and we will catch you in the next one.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Aaron. This was fun. Thank you for the trauma.
Woo, trauma.
Won't be thinking about this all day tomorrow.
Feather Duster to Bear Apocalypse and Soggy Rider. Over.
Over and out.
Over and out.
Over and out.
Bye.
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 Thank you so much for listening to our Song of Rest. If you like the adventures your ears just wit on, feel free to listen in on our other adventures from any plane of existence or seeing stone you get your podcasts. Until we meet again, safe journeys, travelers.